Hello, my name is Tyler, and today I'm going to teach you how to use local AI models with AI agents. And we're going to specifically be doing that with Ollama. Now, what exactly do I mean by using local AI models with AI agents? Well, typically, if you were to use OpenAI or Anthropic as a provider for your AI agents, that means that you're going to create API requests to that company and they're going to send you a request back. However, your data is not private whenever you do that. They can see this data and they can use it for themselves. And instead, if you don't want that and you have things that need to be private or you just don't want them to know your information, then you would need to have a locally hosted AI model on your machine that you can use with your AI agents. That means it'll stay 100% local and 100% private. And one of the easiest ways to do that is with this software, Ollama, right? So we're going to have a 5-step process today. I'm going to show you how to do this, and it is very easy. So the first thing is we're going to go to ollama.com, and then we're going to choose download. You'll choose Mac, Linux, or Windows. Just go ahead and download it and install it. And once you've done that, at the top of your computer, like for instance, I'm on iMac, you'll see the little symbol for Ollama, and that means it is now running on your computer. Okay, great. So now we're going to be moving on to step 2, where we're going to actually pull or download a model so that we can run it locally on our machine from Ollama. With the latest updates from Ollama, they now have an actual chat dialog box that you can use to select the model and then chat with it. But before we do that, I just want to show you where you can see these actual models. So on their website, if you go to models, here are all the models that they actually have. You can just kind of scroll through here and see all of them. You know, here's Qwen 3, Vision Language, DeepSeek R1. And then what you want to look for is ones that I can deal, maybe thinking models, or ones that can actually have use tools, right? And they kind of had that there with these tags to make it easy for you. And so what you want to do then is, let's say I want to use DeepSeek R1. So I come and choose DeepSeek R1. You can see all of the model types, right? Now, this does depend on your hardware. The one thing about running AI models that a lot of people I see just say, oh, you should always be doing this. You should only use local AI models, is that you do have to have the hardware that can actually run those models, because it's, you know, for instance, for me, I have 8 gigabytes of RAM on my iMac. I can do at the most about 7 or 8 billion parameter models. And even then, it takes a while to get for the whole inference to happen. So I typically just choose like a 3 billion or 2 billion parameter for these examples, because I can run that easily and quickly. But let's say I wanted the DeepSeek R1 1.5 billion parameter model. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, there's a couple ways you can do this. So I can copy this. And then now in the chat dialog box that you get, if I can just come in here and choose this, I can just choose this little button here, and then I can paste that model in. Now, if I don't see the little download symbol, that means I already have it on my computer. I can go ahead and run that. Okay, but maybe if I didn't have this, I would want to install it. So how do we do that? Well, I'm going to open up a terminal, and I'm just going to simply say Ollama pull, and then paste in the model. So when I run this, I basically already have it. So that's why I downloaded so quickly. But for you, it might take a minute, a couple minutes, or whatever that is. And then you would now have that on your computer to be able to use. Now, let's say you can see Gemma 3, 1 billion parameter. Maybe I want to pull that one. So now whenever I go to pull this, you can see this is going to take a little bit longer. I mean, it's not a big model, but now it's actually installing it. And then the next time I go to the chat model, that download button won't be there because I have it on my local computer. And there we go. We got success. We got success right here, and it's done. Now let's go back here. Now you can see Gemma, I pulled it back up, Gemma 1 billion parameter. It is now downloaded. Let's see if I can talk to it. Hey, how are you doing? Okay, and it's really nice that they had this before you only had the terminal. But here, it's setting something back. What is 2 times 5 divided by 7? Okay, so now it's just, or mod 7. So it's just saying equals 3. Okay, so you can see that we can actually now talk to the model just like you would normal chat. Great job. Okay, so now for step 3, we are going to be integrating Ollama with some Python code. And this is going to be made very easy. You're first just going to install the Ollama library. They actually have integrations for lots of different languages, and this is going to make everything very easy. So it's going to import chat and the chat response object from Ollama. Then we're going to say this chat response is equal to, we give it the model, and then kind of the role and content that we want to use, right? So here we're just going to use our Gemma 3 1 billion parameter model and just ask, why is the sky blue? And then just return the content. And so then whenever we run this, is blue. It gives us exactly why the sky is blue and gives a response back. Awesome. So now we have created some simple code to interact with Ollama. And the reason this works is because whenever you are running Ollama, it's already serving it as a backend API, so to speak. So we're basically calling the Ollama API locally with this model and this message, and it's just returning back the response it would get. Similar how we did it with the actual chat box. Instead of just having a chat right here, we're just now accessing it through code. Okay, and so now that you kind of see how we can actually just use straight code with the Ollama library to call your local AI model, which is great. Now let's integrate this with an AI agent, and today we're going to be using LangChain for that. So for step 4, let's integrate Ollama into an actual AI agent framework. Here is what this code is going to look like. We are going to use the create agent from LangChain. We're going to import this model from Ollama specifically for chat Ollama. And then all we now need to do with this model is pass in the model that we want to use that you have downloaded locally. It will tell you whether it can handle tools if you try to use tools, or if you actually have it, it'll say that it doesn't exist with Ollama. Okay, and then we're going to use the create agent, just pass in the model, and we're just going to ask that a question. Now, if you've taken my LangChain course, you can do that. It'll be in the description at the end of the video. But this is a very basic setup using their create agent library. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to run this file. Again, depending on the computer, how long this is going to take to get the request or get the response back to you once you send it the prompt. So, this prompt is what is a space fact. So it's going to kind of send me a list of everything. So here is the human message was a space fact. And then the AI message goes on about all of this information about space fact is an observation or belief about a phenomenon. Okay, this is a small model, 1.5 billion parameters. So they're not always really going to give you the best results, right? This is a very small parameter model, so they're not that great. So it's actually, I don't think, it gave me a couple things, but instead of just giving me a space fact, it kind of tried to explain some things that wasn't really relevant to what I was asking, but that's okay. Here is how you would use this as part of an agent. Now, again, if you want to use tools, you need to make sure that you're using a model that can use tools, which you can find, as I showed earlier, in the Ollama models list. Okay, so now for the last step, this is really what you need, but I just want to show you how to use Ollama's cloud, which is just in preview right now, but recently has been added to Ollama. So let's just go through what you can do with this and how to use it. So the first thing we're going to do is, if you haven't created an account with Ollama, go back to Ollama, create the account, and then here in our terminal, we're going to type in Ollama sign in. So in order to sign in, we're going to go here. I'm just going to click this link, connect. Okay, so now we are connected. So now the next thing is I want to be able to use a better cloud model, right? Now I'm using the free version, right? So you're kind of limited. But in order to use that, I want to say Ollama pull, and I want to do this within the cloud. So I want to pull GPT OSS 120 billion parameter model. Okay, as you can see, obviously you're not going to be pulling all 120 billion parameter, the whole model on your local machine. This is for cloud. And so now what you need, how to basically get this to work is, now from Ollama, we're just going to import a client. So then we have this client, and then this is a way we're going to be streaming this output. So we can just, again, ask a simple question: why is the sky blue? Well, it may not be simple. The question itself is simple. The answer may not be. So, but we're going to be using that 120 billion parameter cloud model, which my computer would just crash if I don't even know if I could download that model. But what we're going to do now is just run this, okay? But this is also very, very simple code to use this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and clear this, and I'm going to say Python Ollama cloud Python file. And this is my Python file, and you can see, obviously this is very quick because I'm using the model that's on the cloud and not on my local computer. Okay, and it's streaming the answer to me. Okay, and that's great. Now, what are the limitations? Well, to be honest with you, I tried kind of searching what the limitations are, what the difference between the tiers, because there's a free tier, a pro, and a max, right? The pro just means you get higher usage limits than free. I don't really know. You get free access. It says the free version, you get free access to cloud models, and you can search the web and fetch page contents. I don't know how often you can use that, but go ahead and try this out. I only have the free version, right? While it's in preview, I would just go ahead and test this out, right? You can use really good models with with Ollama Cloud. Okay, so with that, now you have a simple crash course on how to use Ollama, and all this will be in my free community. You can just join. It's free. You're going to be with like-minded people, and I'll have all this set up so it's also easier for you to view. As always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and comment down below what you would like to see, or if you had any problems with this, I would love to know what those are. So please tell me what you need help with, okay? And in the meantime, here are more crash courses for you to watch right now.